City of North Miami. Council meeting. Mr. Clerk, can you please do roll call?
Mayor Joseph,
Here.
Councilman Galvin, Councilwoman Keys,
Here.
Vice Mayor Bieneme, and Councilman Dezume. Here. Mayor, we have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. We will proceed with Officer Abigail Mary with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Officer. We'll continue with invocation by Commander Angelo Brunson. Brunson or Branson?
Brunson.
Not Charles Brunson.
Let's all bow. Father God in heaven, we all come before your throne of grace with bowed heads and humbled hearts, giving thanks for all your blessings, great and small. We thank you for allowing us all to congregate here on this occasion to go about the city's business. We hope and pray that all things that are said and done will be for the uplifting of the city, for all of its residents, guests, and visitors. And let us all behave toward one another with brotherly love, and we're all working toward the same common goal. In your son Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Commander. We'll proceed with the manager if there is any addition, deletions, amendments to the agenda, so we may do them now before we proceed.
Yes, sir. I have a few. I'd like to withdraw tab B from the agenda and move that. I'll have that at the next meeting. Like to move up tab D and hear that immediately following the consent agenda.
Mhm.
And then tab D,
D as in dog,
D as in dog,
to go before 7, before C.
before C.
Okay.
And then I need to change the order because of regulation. I need to switch tab, the order of tab I and H. They're companion items, but I needs to go first, and then H needs to be heard.
Okay.
If I may ask, why are you changing the order of D?
We have outside counsel here that for that item, to represent for the city, and council needs to leave for another meeting, so we just wanted to have it as soon as we could.
You said I before H, right?
I before H, yes, sir.
Is that it?
That is it, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
Mr. Attorney, we'll proceed, considering that this agenda is set.
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Well, the special presentation, I believe there is one, no? We have a special recognition to the city of North Miami as one of the 4th municipalities in Miami-Dade County to be designated a storm-ready community A. That's what I say.
What does that mean?
A storm-ready,
Good?
yeah,
Oh,
very
we don't
good.
have to go down, do we?
What?
Oh, what is it? I mean, let's go and find out. Storm ready. Carol, please, let's go. What does that mean?
No, we're not. We've never been afraid. Well, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, all of our guests and residents, on February 13th, 2019, the United States Department of Commerce, along with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as we all know as NOAA, they presented the city of North Miami with a plaque commemorating that we are now recognized as a storm-ready community. Now, what does that mean? We received this designation for improving the timeliness and effectiveness of hazardous weather warnings through a diligent and proactive approach of increased communications and preparedness. North Miami is one of only 4 municipalities in Miami-Dade County out of 36 who has obtained this special recognition, and our storm-ready community designation is valid until January 2022. At that time, we will have to reapply and demonstrate our continued commitment to emergency preparedness and effective communications with the citizens that we serve. In addition to being recognized as a storm-ready community, This qualifies our city to receive an additional 25 points on our community rating system score. The higher the score we have on our community rating system, the more discounts our residents may qualify for on their flood insurance. If I could be indulged, sir, just read one paragraph from the letter that came from the National Weather Service. Dear North Miami Division of Emergency Management, on behalf of the Miami National Weather Service Forecast Office, Storm Ready Advisory Board, I would like to congratulate you for the City of North Miami's successful recognition as a storm-ready community. North Miami is one of only 4 municipalities in Miami-Dade County to obtain this special recognition. This success is clearly a result of your vision, leadership, hard work, and commitment to the residents, visitors, and staff of North Miami. In particular, Ms. Atherley Edwards was instrumental in spearheading the city through the application and recognition process, and her work is to be commended. This is from Dr. Pablo Santos, the meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service. If I can have my staff come up. We were presented with a plaque that states we're storm ready, which I will display proudly in my office. And we were also presented with this sign, which we're gonna display prominently in front of City Hall. So all of our citizens, guests, visitors, and staff can all join the recognition with us.
Do we have any city event announcement? No? Project update.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, North Miami neighbors, and guests. I'm Unicia Baker, Senior Public Information Officer for the City of North Miami, and it is my pleasure to share some of the city's upcoming programs and initiatives with you. In collaboration with the North Miami Public Library, CRAMS Consulting now offers a series of parent workshops designed to empower parents with the skills necessary to guide their children on the road to school success. You can attend our next workshop. It's scheduled for February 27th at 6 p.m. at the NOMI Library. The final activity for North Miami's 2019 Black History Month celebration is MoCA Moving Images, which takes place tomorrow, February 27th at 6:30 p.m. As part of the current Afro-Cobra exhibit, which closes in 1 month, this documentary film explores the complex identity formations of young African women living in America and West Africa. This event is free with museum admission. Need help filing your taxes? The AARP Foundation provides free tax return preparations for low and moderate income taxpayers and seniors at the North Miami Public Library every Thursday from 10:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Assistance will be available until April 15th. Earn your high school diploma for free at the NOMI Career Online High School, available through the North Miami Public Library. You can also attend our next information session. It's scheduled for Tuesday, March 12th at 6 p.m. It'll take place at the Griffin Community Center. Tuesday, March 6th, join the City of North Miami's Mayor, Dr. Smith Joseph, for this year's first quarter business luncheon. It's titled Inclusive Prosperity, NOMI in Today's Creative Economy, featuring keynote speaker Dr. Richard Florida, professor at the University of Toronto and visiting fellow of FIU Miami Urban Future Initiative. RSVP on Eventbrite today. On March 6th, MoCA Moving Images will feature a documentary centered on the struggle of activist Angela Davis, whose affiliation with the Communist Party and the Black Panthers challenged our perception of political freedom. This free screening opens at 6:30 p.m. The next Getting Geared Community Bike Ride Wellness Initiative is scheduled for Saturday, March 9th, with registration at 8 a.m. The monthly 10-mile group bike ride starts and ends at MoCA Plaza and takes place on the second Saturday of each month. This month's water stops are sponsored by the North Miami Chamber of Commerce and the Knights of Columbus Marian Council, number 3757, North Miami. This year's Parks and Recreation Spring Camp is scheduled for March 25th through March 29th at Keystone Community Center and the Claude Judson Center. It's $100 for residents, $120 for non-residents. Fees include all trips, activities, daily snaps, and related transportation. Campers must bring a bag lunch daily. Register during business hours at the Parks and Recreation Office. Stay up to date with the latest happenings in our cities by visiting www.northmiamifl.gov. Then click the Connect with NOMI icon on the homepage where you can sign up to receive our monthly NOMI newsletter. Residents may also like the City of North Miami on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This concludes today's announcements.
Thank you very much, Ms. Baker. Any updates of city projects?
Not at this time, sir.
No. Well, there is only one item in the consent. That's type A, right? The B was removed. Just we need a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda, which is only tab A. That motion was seconded by Councilman Desume.
Before, yeah, go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Yeah.
Item passed with
Before we proceed, Mr. Clerk, I believe I saw Commissioner Moniz team working earlier. I don't know if he has a few words to say, or if he would just want to say hi. And
to the mic, Commissioner.
hmm?
Let me get the yellow paper. I'll announce it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening,
Evening.
Council, and good evening to all the residents of Miami, of the city of North Miami. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. How much time do I have, Mr. Mayor?
We'll leave it wide open for you.
Very good. Thank you.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure, and I invited myself before you this evening because, first of all, I believe that's what my constituents, our constituents, expect of me. I also come, ironically, because we are celebrating Black History Month, and I think it's important to make a public demonstration of my willingness to work with this council, and not just this council, a majority Black council. I come here because this is where my political career began, here in North Miami. I came here because the city is where I first opened my business, and the doors are still open. And my business office is basically less than 500 feet away from the entrance of this building. And I began investing in the city of North Miami in the early 90s. I raised my children here, I raised my family here, and my two sons, when I moved to Biscayne Garden, decided, Dad, we're not coming with you. We're staying right here in North Miami. And they still live here. So I didn't come here because of the article that appeared yesterday, to tell the truth, because I am a county commissioner. That is expected. Luckily for me, I'm not interested in good press. I'm not interested in bad press neither. So that's why after 8 years, you haven't seen my name around that much in the paper. But to assume that the city council, the citizens of North Miami, has monies in the county that I refuse to release because of whatever political reason is an affront to my integrity and to my service to the community and to the people of North Miami. As simple as that. Let me give you some facts. when the citizens of North Miami called me because they wanted a do-over for 16th Avenue, that was not discussed with the city council. It was done. When others called me because they wanted the resurfacing of the portion of North Miami Avenue that is in the city council, that was done. When the citizens of North Miami told me, what can you do? Because west of 119th Street, we see what the city has done, but east of I-95, the entrance to the city is not quite as aesthetically beautiful. I just took it on my own responsibility to take care of it. So when I advocate every year for MOCA to increase MOCA's funding in the budget, there isn't one person in North Miami that has ever asked me to advocate for that. When MOCA was about to go down, I had a couple of conversations with Councilman Galvin at the old Kisleck Bank where your office was, and explained to you some of my efforts, because I know this was an anchor in the city and we couldn't afford to let MOCA close. Actually, the very money we're discussing, Cagney's money, that money was fought for by the council I served on in 2004, before the referendum. So I am more entitled to fight to keep that money in North Miami than anybody would ever think they should, who came to this council or to the city after I came here. So why is so much confusion about what's happening with Cagney's money? I think there is nothing but the interest in politicizing what I do, because maybe it makes a political case for whomever is interested in that. But I came here this evening, honestly, because I'm not interested in this kind of fight. I'm not interested in this kind of politics. This is not my kind of politics. This is not my kind of politics. As a matter of fact, the record will show when the manager's assistant sent an email to my former chief of staff back in September 2018, September 27th, I believe it was, requesting that we transfer the funds. I was questioning myself until last Friday as to why I didn't see the email. I'm being very candid with you as to why I didn't see the resolution. Okay? And I was about to go off in my office. Then I realized that my former chief of staff emailed that resolution to the county's finance department approximately an hour later. And it is the county that sent it to me after due diligence. We sent it an hour after. All along, my former chief of staff was informing me that the city manager wants to set an appointment to meet with me at the office, which never materialized for whatever reason. But now, I don't have any control over the manager's calendar. But at the end of the day, I'm proud to say that my chief of staff did his job then. And what happened when we find out that we were being questioned about what happened with Cagney's money? We follow up with the county attorney's office. We had two different versions. Understand, for those watching and those listening, when these conversations are taking place, the commissioner is not always in the mix or in the middle of the conversation. It's staff with staff. So what was explained to us, which I understand differently right now, was that after the homeowners association gave me the resolution, and frankly, at the end of the day, I was always hoping that the district councilman would come and have a conversation with the commissioner about what he's trying to do, whether I can help get more money to help him or to help with the city, with what we're trying to accomplish in the city. That was never the case. Although at one point, I did offer the possibility of finding additional funds for this very project. And if someone wants to remember, they will remember, if they can get back to their recollection. So we were told that we did not need to do a resolution from the county to do this. Understand, the county attorney's office has 200 people working in there. Okay? So we were moving forward thinking that no further action of the board is warranted. Why? Honestly, it's because we've been at this for quite a while. We later find out, as you know, after the administration sent information to the Miami Herald, and it was properly reported in the Miami Herald, that the board has to take action. Guess what happened immediately after we find out and before the article came out? We asked the county attorney's office to proffer a resolution. So why is this happening? It's happening because someone decided that it's politically expedient. And again, I respect this city too much. I respect myself too much. I respect my family, the people I serve too much, the people who helped me become who I am too much, to be dragged, to allow myself to be dragged to this kind of politics. And those who know, understand clearly, I'm not afraid of a good fight. I can put up a good fight, but never a fight for political reasons. A fight if it helps elevate the people I serve to a higher position. So, in conclusion, Mr. Mayor, I'll give this to the clerk and to all the council members for the record, so you can see the stream of email that we exchange with the county officials. And again, for the record, I'll just conclude with these words. When I wanted to serve this community, I moved here to North Miami. I moved my family here. After I lost an election, I didn't move out. After I lost a second election, I didn't move out. After I became a commissioner, I didn't move out. I still own property here. My family still live here. So the least we can do for our people, if someone wants to challenge me, come and question me face to face. I'm not afraid of that. As a matter of fact, that's why I'm here. Because the last thing I'm going to allow myself is to let people bully me, especially if it's political bully. I don't accept that. As per the referendum, the 2004 referendum, these $5 million can never go anywhere but to the city of North Miami. That's what I explained when we had this conversation. They cannot go anywhere. They are the city's money. They are, as a matter of fact, as a politician, I would hope that something happened way before this political season so that I could see my hands helping the city of North Miami with what happened, with that $5 million. But we never had I had a conversation in person with anybody on the city council about these $5 million. Never. 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 So as a matter of fact, it's ironic that somebody would send a certified letter, which was never sent, by the way, which I never received. Actually, we're working with the postal office right now to find out what's happened. And I think if it were, by the way, the reason I'm speaking is because my staff is not allowed to get into politics. because they're not there for that. But frankly, if any one of them were to return that letter without my approval, they would have been fired, as simple as that. And I think, and I hope, and I would challenge the city to investigate and find out whether this letter was ever mailed. And if it's someone from my office that's returned it, I promise that this person would be fired. But what would you do if it was never mailed to my office? If there was never any certified letter? So, did the postal agent get to the first floor and decide, I'm not going to go to the second floor and return it? I cannot assume that. But I know that that's not the way we do business in my office. So, Mr. Mayor, I thank you for the opportunity to speak. And I'm not the city's political foe. I'm not running for any office in North Miami. As a matter of fact, I just won my last re-election. And honestly, in a perfect world, what I was hoping was, okay, at least for continuity, that this council will collaborate with me and perhaps somebody replace me on the county commission, because this city deserve to have continuity in the things that I've started, or my district deserve that. But it's a shame that this is how we want to do our business, but this is not how Jean Monet's team ever conduct his business. And thank you for the time. And my door's always open, always willing to work with whomever wants to work with me, in good days and bad days. And I'll never put my ego above the service of this community. Never, ever.
Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. Obviously, we have the agenda. It's not a, this is not an item on the agenda, but of course, you know, it is by protocol, by cordiality. I give the opportunity for the commissioner to greet us, not just the people on the dais, but as well as the people from the city of North Miami who sit in the audience. And but it is my understanding that maybe one or two commissioner wants to comment. I don't know if it's going to have to do with the rest of the commission if we want to continue.
Well, I would like to say, Mr. Mayor, if you allow me, thank you, Commissioner, for coming here. And I was listening very carefully. I don't know what's going on, but I was hearing a lot of political talk and accusation. And let me rest assured, if I am going to ask for an investigation, because you said you're willing to fire one of your staff, I think we should stand by that as well as the city. That's number one. But I could only speak for myself. I don't know the back and forth of what was going on, but I knew that homeowners, from what I was hearing while here on the dais openly, were trying to get in touch when it comes to the Cagney Park money. I had met with, I had heard from Ms. Brown, from Ms. Hill, outside of this council when they asked that. So my only communication or interaction regarding the money was what I've been told doing briefing with the manager. And that's just the manager giving me an overview. So you said something that struck me, somebody sending something to the Miami Herald. I don't know. I would like to get an answer from that, because I think as a city, I don't know if we're in the business of doing that, and I would like to hear from that. But the other point, publicly, and I'm glad that you came here tonight to say you are willing to work with me, because I am one of those commissioners who always open to especially you, because I do respect the work that you do, because I followed your footsteps from the council, District 4. But it's my understanding, my office, I had directed them, and I think that there might be some communication that we both might need to work on. From my understanding, my assistant right here, Rosa Enriquez, I requested Rosa twice to send you a letter so that I could personally come and meet with you. And she sent the letter. Miss, can you please go? I'm sorry, this is not a jury, but I just want, you did send the letter, right? The email. You called and emailed, so both of them We never got a response back trying to schedule that meeting. So I know now you have a new chief of staff, so we're going to try again to do that. But I just want that to be on the record that I did try twice. And then outside of that, one of the issues that I wanted to meet with you about, that I could talk about it openly, was one of the, not a constituent, but Mr. Rochelle Anderson really was passionate about some affordable housing. And I say to him, I said, that's something that we might want to take to the commissioner. So he said to me that he would reach out to your office, which I cannot verify if that was done, but I know my office did call and send the email on that, so I am willing to do that. But Mr. Manager, I don't know how we could, the concern about the certified letter, if we sent the letter or not, how we could just accurately do that, because that's very troubling to me if that occurred. Somebody definitely, because I don't think that, because you publicly, that means that you lied to not only the council, the public, if that's the administration.
Before you speak, if I may interject, last meeting when we had that resolution, I believe that I spent a few good, maybe 2 or 3 minutes on the fact that you reported to us that you mailed a letter through the U.S. Post Office Services, and I believe you had the envelope with you, with the stamp. So I wanted to make sure that was the case, because I know there was a possibility that
Can we get a copy of that?
that this would go a long way. I mean,
Absolutely.
because I mean, federal, post office business. If somebody lies to the federal, building, a government, people know what that is. This is not just a local politics thing. So we better make sure that we in fact did mail that letter, and
Yeah.
whatever happened, that it came back to us.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me be clear. I'm not playing any politics. A letter was mailed through the U.S. Postal Service, certified by my staff, and I got a return. If you'd like to see the original envelope, it is upstairs in my office. It is not manipulated by my office, as far as I know, or myself. I didn't accuse anybody. It was returned.
Okay.
So
So during the months that you have been here, have you made any efforts to try to meet with the commissioner's staff on
Yes.
on this issue?
I spoke to his chief of staff about the very email communication. I said that at the last meeting that I spoke to him.
Okay.
So
Mr. Mayor, can I
I
say
think-
something?
I think Commissioner
okay,
wanted
welcome.
to say something.
Commissioner Monestein, thank you for coming here this evening. I know we spoke since the last meeting. I really appreciate you coming and getting this moving. That is, I think, all of our intention. You gave us a letter, an email. Are we on the right track to getting my thought is, forget what happened in the past. We need to start moving forward. So my question is, do these emails, is this moving it forward, or what is it that we need to do to make this happen? Let's not blame this one and that one. Let's just get it done, please. We're requesting.
My office is proffering a substantial modification. That is what is needed, and the county attorney's office is drafting that already. The irony about this is that a week prior to this letter being sent, I got off the dais assisting the manager on the CRA issue he was dealing with downtown because his item was pulled. And I wanted to get him out early, and I explained to him what to do to get that happen. And I find it surprising that the letter was not discussed with me. An issue with the resolution of the CAGNY fund was not discussed with me. The mayor and I, we meet on a board that's almost regularly. We never have a conversation about that. Recently, I was in Orlando with Councilman Bien-Aimé and Councilman Desolmé. We never have a conversation about that. Give my office some credit. How is it that the homeowners association was able to have that conversation with me? Simple. Well, they are also my constituents. They ask for a meeting. I give them a meeting. But we all understand that's not the proper protocol. I represent them, but I don't take order for the city government from them.
We spoke a couple months ago.
Now, I understand. I explained the same thing to you.
And you told me, so.
So I gave you my word. I give them my words.
You gave me your word, which is why we.
So the only thing that happened is that the only thing that happened, and I think it's the same thing here, if somebody reaches out to city staff and what you expect is not happening, if you have an opportunity to speak to the manager, do so, because he needs to get it straight. So I'm not saying that my staff is infallible. I'm not saying that. But if you're not getting what you're supposed to get out of them, you see me all the time. Talk to me. We never had a conversation. Nobody ever complained to me until I said in the paper, until the Herald called me. That is unacceptable.
So but you didn't answer my question.
I answered your question. We're proffering a substantial modification resolution from the county commission. That's what is required.
Okay, so it is in the works, and we're just waiting for the.
Yeah, for the third time it is on the work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Council Vice Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, let me say something. Commissioner Monistim talk about politics, and he talks about Cagdi Park. It's a project that he worked since when he was a commissioner. Understand, Commissioner Monistim, the money wasn't for works for Cagni Park. We never had $5 billion for Cagni. It never been Cagni. The money was for Works Park. No, can I finish, Mr. Commissioner?
Yeah, go ahead.
The money was for Works Park. In January of 2014, when we were negotiating with the school board about Cagni Park, that's when I find out only $2 million was allocated for Cagni. What I did, to a resolution, I moved the Works Park money to Cagni to make it a $10.5 million project. This is what it is, that I've been working on it since January of 2014. Now, if we're talking about money for Cagni, if we're talking about a $10.5 million project, I bring it on the table. Because when I was here in January of 2014, the school board brought a $2 million project for Cagni. It was a school board project. We were able to negotiate with the school board in order for them to allow us to do the project. Because the Cagni that you're talking about, the $2 million, was a school board project. It never been a city of North Miami project.
You mean the Works Park? The Works Park project.
No, I'm talking about Cagni.
Okay.
Cagni never been a city of North Miami project. I make it a city of North Miami project. Because it was $2 million, we were able to negotiate with the school board to give us $3.5 million. And we were going to win with $7 million in order to make it a $10.5 million project. That's when, with the administration, we passed a resolution to move the $5 million from Works Park to Cagni Park. And when I talked to you a couple years ago about that, about Works Park, and I remember you said, since you have an interlocal agreement with the school board, you need to finish with them first before you can start engaging discussion with the county commission. That's what I've been doing.
I know at the
But
beginning,
since
yes. I know at the beginning, the commissioner asked me, how long does he have to speak? And of course, out of generosity, I say we leave it open, but open doesn't really mean
yes.
Open.
I understand, Mr. Mayor.
So we're gonna try our best.
And since then, Mr. Mayor, because I didn't want to play politics, I didn't want to call the commissioner every day, have lunch with him, and talked about a city project. That's why I did what I had to do by passing resolutions on the dais and let the administration do their job, working with your administration in order to bring that money to the city of North Miami to do that project. This is what it is. I've been working on it since 2014. It never been a CAGNY project until I make it like that.
Councilman,
Yes.
I'm not here, again, I'm not the one running for mayor, so I'm not here to have a conversation about which is your
No, but
project,
you
which
said
is
it's
not.
a CAGNY project.
Councilman, in
Let's
all due
not-
respect,
Let's not make
in
it
all
a
due
back and
respect,
forth.
you don't want to go into history of North Miami's issues and project with me. In all due respect,
No, but when you
because
said
the
it's a
city
CAGNY,
council,
but you said it's a CAGNY
You,
project.
you already made the correction, Vice Mayor.
in all due respect,
Let's
Commissioner,
make it a
I didn't
back
come
and
here
forth.
for this. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand when you want your project move forward, it's okay whether you like him or you don't like him, disagree with him or disagree with him, his friend or not his friend, to meet with him. And it's normal. That's the way
That's
politics is conducted here.
Yeah.
So hopefully, when I'm no longer out of office, or if you have another project before you're done with your tenure, feel free to call my office and ask to meet with me to have a conversation about your project if it has anything to do with the county. That's all that is required. That's simple civility. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. Let this meeting continue.
Tab D, Mayor.
Yes.
Proposed resolution of
No.
Before Top D, Michael, just
I think
a
it's
quick
tab D
announcement.
first.
Yeah.
Tab D goes before E. No?
D.
For your report.
Huh?
Oh, report, do it in the.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to.
Oh, what is the announcement? Should I do it during my report for
Why don't you
tomorrow?
go ahead and do it now?
Oh, do
Go
it
ahead
now.
and do it now.
Which Eunice forgot to mention, the NOMI Gold and Silver Senior Program tomorrow is hosting its 4th annual luncheon. It's going to be held at the Joe Celestine Center at 11 a.m. It's not open to the public, but we just wanted you to know the 4th annual NOMI Gold and Silver Senior Program is happening tomorrow at Joe Celestine Center. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Clerk, I believe D as in dog was, C was taken out. And then D was moved because, well, D automatically
was
comes
taken out.
next.
It was,
Yeah.
We move B.
Oh, okay, C is still there. Okay,
correct.
go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
Tab D, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North
Yeah.
Miami, Florida,
It's only tab A.
authorizing and approving the execution of an employment agreement with the city attorney in substantially the attached form, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. That was tab D.
Mayor,
No, C is still there.
This is why you should never switch them up, because we spend more time debating.
outside, I didn't want to be sitting as the city attorney as you're discussing my contract, so I had outside counsel come in. He had to go to another meeting at another municipality. So I'm going to have Jennifer, I really would prefer not having someone who's subordinate to me do this, but she's available to answer any questions. So I'm going to have her take the seat.
Do we need somebody? Do we need Jennifer? I mean,
Jennifer is here.
I should
No, I know,
not
but
be,
you're saying that
I
it's
should
one
not
of
be
them.
giving you legal advice on my contract. I
no,
think
you're not
just
giving us on your
historically,
contract.
guys know
You
that.
giving us, I'm asking you advice on the legality of do we even
No,
need
you're gonna
somebody?
be asking questions.
Council, we need.
You can ask
Yeah.
them questions, and we can ask you questions.
You can ask me questions. I'm going to be sitting right there.
Ah,
I'll
okay.
come up to the mic.
Oh, okay, well,
in
let
terms of
Jennifer come in. I
questions
thought you said
regard-
you were leaving the room.
No.
Okay, Jennifer could come in.
That's it?
No, I already read it. Tab D.
Well, tab D as in dog has already been read. I guess at this point of time, we should open it to the public. If anyone in the public wishes to be heard on item D as in dog, which is regarding a employment agreement renewal between the city of North Miami and attorney Jeff Cazzo. Now this is your time to be heard. I see none, hear none, so public hearing is therefore closed. Any questions from the dais?
Mr. Mayor, apologize again for my voice. Can we ask staff for a summary of what we're being asked to approve or disapprove this evening?
Absolutely. Mayor and Council, the employment agreement that has been provided and proffered by the city attorney has been attached to the agenda, and it's available for public as well as your review. Substantially, the only change in the agreement is under Section 3 term. Your original agreement with the city attorney provided for a 3-year term, which would expire on April 17th of this year. Your new agreement is for a 3-year term And the substantial change is that following that 3-year term, there will be no longer a term. Your city attorney will serve at the will of the mayor and council at that point.
Okay.
As far as salary, that remains the same, and all of the other current provisions.
Yeah, I
of
didn't
your-
see a section for that. That's the only question I had. I couldn't see it. Salary?
So your annual base salary is discussed in section number 5.
5.
And it currently says that the city attorney is going to continue to be paid at his current rate.
Yeah, but the public doesn't know. Do they need to know?
What is the current rate?
I'll defer to the city attorney if he wishes to disclose.
It's public record. It's $240,000.
Okay.
That's the same as the manager, correct?
Correct.
You done, Scott?
Hmm?
Yeah, that was the only question I had right now.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
that's
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna make a motion to approve.
I've just a quick question or concern about that, and just understand that it's election year, and in about 90 days we're gonna have an election, and a new administration may comes in and take place, and should we make decision for the new administration? Why don't we extend it until like the fiscal year, like September of 2019 now, to let the new administration negotiate the contract, or if there is a new administration, that's what I would think. We don't, if we sign contract right now for 3 years and understand that if a new administration comes in and they feel like there's a need for a new administration, now they're gonna try to get rid of that contract, and the city gonna end up paying a lot of money. I don't know if, what do people think?
When does his current term
Expired in April.
expires in April?
Yeah.
So is there any section in that agreement? I think usually if there is going to be any renewal, it has to be taken place 90 days prior. Is it 90 days or 60 days? Does
I don't know, but
does the old agreement call for that?
No.
No.
It's a straight 3-year term.
Oh, okay. But it doesn't require 60 days prior the expiration of the contract for the city.
No, that was in
No?
Asian contract. It's not in that. That's just what I was saying. In case a new administration comes in and decide otherwise, it's gonna cost the city a lot of money. That's why we said why not we let the new administration work with that.
I mean, we can decide to make a resolution to go to the moon, and the next administration can say no. So I mean,
It's up to you. It's just
Like, can I make a
Well,
quick suggestion?
mhm.
You know, is it possible if the attorney would agree to that? Because I'm hearing after the 3-year terms is up, it goes into the what
another
would
3 years.
no, it doesn't go into another 3. It goes up to at will, correct?
No, after the next
If
3
that-
years.
After the next 3 years, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get the gist of that. Can it just be? Can we vote on it where it's at will to now versus the Would that satisfy your concern?
No, I will see if the employee
'cause I don't think it really
agree
matters.
for September 30th, like the fiscal year,
Well,
and extend this one to the
no,
until the 2019 fiscal year, and then let the new administration and decide what they want to do. That's
Would,
Mr. Mayor,
would a 1-year contract be acceptable, or is that just?
At any point, this council can terminate my employment. Whether it's a 3-year term or no year term, you can, the only issue is, if I'm terminated without cause, I get a severance. That's all the
That's
issue
all
is.
the
So
issue.
if another council comes in and says, we don't want Jeff Cazot, we want John Smith, you can terminate my contract, and then you have to pay me my severance.
Okay.
So I
what
think
is
that's the
severance?
solution.
how much?
20
What is
weeks.
the severance?
20
21
weeks.
per per the Florida statute.
What it is?
20
weeks.
for the Florida statute.
That's just a suggestion. I don't.
yeah, Mr. Mayor, may I? And I'm sorry you have to put up with this. I'm hoping by the next couple of meetings it'll be back to normal. I did not vote for Mr. Cazeau when he originally got this position. I can say after having worked with him for the last 2-3 years, you have done an outstanding job. I've been hypercritical of people who've sat in that chair before. I've never had to be critical of you. I'm comfortable with extending it the full 3 years. I agree, should always be at will.
Yeah.
Mr. Woland, who's in the room, could go back to the times when this was switched over from at will to contractual. But I don't want us to start throwing out administrative people, especially somebody who's worked this well, just because a council changes administration. I think that kind of revolving door only hurts the city when people don't feel there's any continuity to staff leadership. So I'm okay extending it the full 3 years and then reverting back to the
If that's the
traditional.
case, we need a motion.
I'll repeat my motion to approve the contract as
No,
presented.
I was trying to make a,
I'll
a
just
friendly
second
amendment.
it for discussion. So
Discussion.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll second it.
I'm okay with it. I guess my suggestion was just so that we all would be in a kumbaya point, but I'm okay with it. But I would say, since if it's at will, I guess, would that satisfy your concern, Councilman, Mr. Vice Mayor?
But my,
Okay.
no, my comment is not based on whether I'm satisfied with Jeff or not. That's when I'm completely satisfied with him. But the only problem is because it's election mode, and I don't want the city to pay a lot of money in case there is a new administration, in case there is a change. That's why I bring it to the council. If you decide everything is fine, and we're okay with that. That was my.
So-
But I never question the good job that he's been doing, and for the past 2 years for the city.
I'd like to say one more thing. The contract reads, if Mr. Cazeau does anything for cause, there's not a termination fee. I hate the idea of playing politics up here, getting a new council, and changing it because they want their own friends. Mr. Cazeau, I will echo Scott 100%. Mr.
Yeah, but
Cazeau.
understand, Carol,
Well,
and
he's been good. He's been good for the city. He's doing a good
I
job.
understand that,
If
but
he's- if he-
understand.
But I really
Councilwoman
don't want.
Keys,
I don't want to see.
we
new
are a
people coming in.
political assembly. Don't say by saying we are. The administration cannot do politics, but up there we are a political assembly. That's when don't say we cannot play politics. That's why we are here.
I don't want to.
We satisfied with Jeff Cazeau, but I just say because it's election, what do you think? That's when it's not like I'm fighting. We don't want to extend his contract or give him another 2 years. He's been doing a bad job for the council. He just, but when you say politics, we are a political assembly. That's when there's nothing wrong that we do politics here.
Yeah.
The administration cannot do
I
politics.
appreciate your
Yeah, I do agree with both of you. I mean, even at home we play politics. I play politics with my 15-year-old, my 27-year-old. Sometimes I ask them to do things. They say, "Okay, you want me to do this, Daddy? You gotta give me that." Well, but to echo Scott, after couple of years, I'm the one who actually nominated Jeff Cazeau for appointment, and he got the position. I have nothing to reproach of him. I think he's been doing a stellar job, but and I do agree. Different people may come, they may not, jive. I mean, their political ideology may not jive with his, but I don't think his position. Well, it's kind of political, I guess, but it's probably half political and half professional, I should say. So. I mean, the motion is on the table by Councilwoman, and I seconded it.
So I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab D. The motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote. Tab C. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with EnviroWaste Services Group, Inc., and further authorizing the city manager to issue purchase orders to EnviroState Service Group, Inc., in the aggregate amount not to exceed $1 million for the completion of sanitary sewer system repairs, piggybacking Broward County solicitation number Y2114050B1, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. That was tab C.
All right, good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you is staff's recommendation for your approval and award of contract to Enviroway Services Group, Inc. to provide the city with sanitary sewer system repairs as part of the city's inflow and infiltration reduction program by piggybacking on a contract between Broward County and Enviroways. As further described in the council report that is submitted in support of this item, Broward County issued a contract to Enviroways based on a response to a competitive solicitation issued for their multi-district inflow and infiltration reduction program. For the record, Enviroways is one of the largest sewer and storm drainage cleaning companies within the state of Florida, has a fleet of over 100 pieces of heavy equipment with which to perform this work. In addition, they have a proven track record of performance and reliability as reflected by the fact that in addition to this Broward County contract, they also have numerous other municipalities have awarded contracts to them, such as the City of Miami, Miami Beach, Hollywood, Sunrise, Doral, etc. In order for the City of North Miami to comply with state and local regulatory requirements regarding...
Hold on one second, Alberto. Just to kind of get to the summit of this item. This is the item that I've briefed you all on regarding the repairs that we need to make prior to June, so that we can have Durham come in, do the testing they need to not have us under moratorium because some of our pump stations are substandard to regulatory standards. So I just wanted to remind everybody what this item is. We absolutely need to get it done now, so that we have the work done and ready to go for June 1st.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Manager. So at this time, we'll open it to the public. Item, what item is that?
C.
Item C is open to the public. I see none, hear none. Public hearing is therefore closed. Anyone on the dais with questions, concerns? Go ahead.
Mr. Estrada, you know how I feel about the piggybacks. I guess this is the only company that could do this magnitude of work, the level of work. That's one of the few.
No, this is not the only company that could do this, but this is a company that's been identified by staff, given against their track record, their level of performance, their experience. Again, and I just rolled off a few of the cities that have a lot of other contracts with other municipalities to do this kind of work, which obviously speaks to their reliability level of performance.
All right, Mr. Manager, that's it. And which other project? It's not only the what other projects, Mr. Pierre-Louis?
What are the pump stations?
The pump stations that included in this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and residents. Whistler Pierre-Louis, Public Works Director. As it stands right now, the latest report that we submitted to Durham had 2 pump station basin areas that did not comply with their requirements. The SSCS, or Sanitary Sewer Evaluation Survey, requires that we investigate the entire city. And there are...
How many pump stations? That was the question.
Yeah, how many pump stations?
Right now,
are we-
there are 2, but I also want to say we will continue to investigate. And if there are other pump station basins that are not in compliance, we will also address them.
That's
at
what I'm
that
saying.
time.
I'm confused. He said there's 2, but he said there's 2 that's not in. So the 2 that's not in compliance, those are the 2 that you apply for. Okay, because
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
he said it was
Addressing
like
now.
there's 2, but there's some non-compliance. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
That means you're gonna see that item multiple times.
More,
That's
Thank
yeah,
you very
it'll be
much.
coming back. Thank you.
Any other? Yeah, you can go ahead. There is no motion yet.
Okay.
Second.
There's no motion, so I make a motion to move the item as is.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Nazumi to approve tab C. That motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote. Tab E. Proposed ordinance, second reading of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 12 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Nuisance at Article 7 entitled Unsafe Buildings and Structures to create a new unsafe structures ordinance, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, codification, and for an effective date. That's tab E.
Okay, item open to the public for anyone who wants to be heard. Public hearing is open on tab E as in Easter. See none, hear none. Public hearing is closed. This is a second reading of an item we heard at the last meeting.
Motion to approve?
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab E. That motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bieneme,
Yeah.
Councilman DeZume,
Yes.
and Mayor Joseph.
Yes.
Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab F,